When I think about Survivor, not Survivor, I think about three words: outlast, outwit, outplay. Out of the three of us sitting here, I outlasted. I was the only few person to merge from nine. That was a full original Greek tribe and me. I had the odds stacked against me, and I still outlasted all of them. Outplay. My original alliance turned on me and managed to go to me out. I played my idol, and the next two people to go were those three. It was me being voted out, save myself, and then it was Maddie, Mackenzie, Brian, the people that just targeted me. I outplayed them. Outwit. The end of the game, I was pretty much a free agent. I had to re-strategize the whole thing. I saw Memphis, who was the leader of maybe, the merge. I knew I had to get with them or I wasn't going to make it. We played together, and at the end, I outwit him. I played my social game. He trusted me. I trusted him, and I still got him out. So if you're thinking about who deserves it, I think that I played the best, hardest game here, and I hope you get your vote.
This was my first time meeting like 95% of y'all. And I'm not an avid watcher of Survivor. So this was a very like new and novel experience for me. It came with a lot of learned lessons. And I think a major one is I got to play with a lot of you guys, and I'm really grateful for that. And I know that while deliberating for who to vote out, I turned to several of y'all and I was like, this is hard. This is really hard. I'm struggling with this. And I had to learn that character is not sacrificed when you play the game. Um, Not liking the process of voting someone else out is not the same thing as feeling sorry for doing so. They are mutually exclusive. They are two different things, and that's okay. I'm really, really proud of the character that I displayed while playing this game. I showed really good loyalty, and I had openness and inclusivity to work with new people. I had to join two different tribes. When we merged, it was me, B, and Mackenzie on a tribe of mainly pink people. We were the minority, and yet we still were able to rally people together, be inclusive to working with other people, and making that shift happen. Um, and I'm really proud of that character that I showed, but I don't feel sorry for moments where that loyalty and that inclusivity maybe had to shift in order to stay in the game. As we just said, the whole purpose of this game is to outwit, outplay, and outlast. And if you feel sorry for doing those things, you've missed the purpose of the game. If you don't want to adhere to the founding principle of Survivor, then what are we doing? Like, that's not the game. So I'm really proud of my character, but I also realized like it was a huge growth moment for me. And I think a perfect example of that is why I'm here. My loyalty was recognized by Courtney, and that's the whole reason why I'm here. But there's not one part of me that feels guilty for going and arguing against her right now, because the whole purpose of the game is to fight it to win. And that's just showing how I've shifted. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so as most of you probably thought coming into the game, I was probably a little bit ditzy, a little bit confused, had never seen Survivor, was confused about what werewolf was. That was all wrong. I came into this game with a plan. I said, I'm going to play the dumb card. I'm going to play confused, just a little added on sibling, doesn't really know anybody, didn't play high viver. So my strategy coming in was to play that up. And my number one target was to find someone on my tribe who was smart and I could ride with them, be their yes man. And for me, that was Memphis. We immediately clicked and we became each other's number ones. And from there, I realized, okay, this is my goal. This is the person that I want to play with. I can play with him for as long as possible. And the entire time coming in, I knew for a fact I will flip on him, and that will be my big move of the game. And then from there, I will control the game. So I did exactly that. In the process, I did have to flip on people. I had to flip Eric out, which was hard for me. That was hard because he was a friend, but that was a very strategic move because it kept me on Memphis' good side. And right after that, Memphis was out, which was my entire plan, was to blindside him. And I did that perfectly. He had idols, he did not play them because I played my social game so well by being a yes girl and by being simply confused. The entire time I was asking so many questions, even before this, when we were sitting in there, how does the jury work? I'm confused. Bitch, I know. I know how this works, and that was my game. To come in and be confused. And on top of that, most of you know Cooper is here. I voted against him 3 times. I played my entire game individual. I did not lean on him for a single thing. I could have came in here and been like, Cooper, I need your help. I need my duo. No, I did not want to play with him a single time. Most of you know that. Even I had to vote against him. I voted him out. Like, I never once was going to rely on him. I wanted to rely solely on myself. And for me, that was outplaying everyone, which kind of got me here to where I am now. And on top of that, I performed very well in challenges. I won Final Jeopardy. My name was only voted 1 time. I played a very good social game. I did not cause any drama that was petty. I felt like I was a very respectful and a very loyal player. I was truthful to Anna. I said we had a girl bond, and I said I will bring you to the end, and I did exactly that. I think I played very loyal, and I mean, we same thing. We all had to lie. We all had to campaign, but I think at the end of the day, the second Clairevivor was made, I said I know my angle and it's going to be to play dumb because none of you people really know me that well, to be honest. Like, I mean, a couple of you guys do, but I can come in and be kind of like a dumb blonde and get to where I need to be. And I think I fooled the majority of you. I mean, I know how werewolf works, but I was confused. I was confused, but I know how these games work. I've seen Survivor, but you guys didn't have to know that. And I think that that was a really great game that I played, and I think it gagged a lot of you. And I think that is why I'm here right now. So I think that is why you should consider me for your vote, because my social game, my competition game, and the loyal game that I played, and very individual. I played a very, very, very individual game that no one knew about. I told 0 people that I was going to play dumb. I kept it all to myself and my cards. And that is why you should vote me to win Clairevivor.
Here, congrats, you three, for making it here. Oh my god. This is gonna be really hard because I am obsessed with all 3 of you. But I get the first question because I was first boot. So my question is reheating Hype-Fiver nachos, but I want all 3 of you to close your eyes. And we're gonna play a fun little game. I'm going to list every single person on the jury, and I want you to raise your hand if you think you are going to have their vote to win. Okay, first is me. Raise your hand if you think you might have my vote. Okay. Carmen. Lauren. Caleb. Brady. Chauncey. Cooper. Maggie. Maddie. Mackenzie. B. Or Bay. Eric. Memphis. Tony. And Cody.
Congratulations. This has been so fun. I loved all of your opening statements. They were so well thought out. My question's kind of simple, but I feel like we just need to get it out of the way. So you all said everything that you thought you did really well. I want to know, what was your biggest mistake? And yeah.
I think the beginning of the game, like my blind loyalty to my original alliance. I really did think I had, like, me, Mackenzie, and Maddie, I thought we were in lockstep. We were gonna be like, loyal to the end. I did, and obviously I shouldn't have popped that because that's not what happened.
Yeah. I hate to just like double back on my opening statement, but I do think that's the truthful answer. And I think that my my newness to this game was a weakness, and I think my not knowing how cutthroat it could be and needs to be to win was a weakness. That was something I had to learn, and I ultimately did pick it up and learn how to do that. But learning how to do that, and the things I said along the way while learning how to do that was tricky.
I think Tony brought this up at his confessional or whatever it was, tribal. I wish I was a little bit more like I couldn't look you in the eyes and tell you what I was going to do, and I think that's just hard for me to do. Period. But I think I have like a personal that just like felt bad to me. Like you were asking me to be honest, and I think I wasn't doing that to you because obviously like we were gonna vote you out. But even I don't know, I just felt like we were sitting here at tribal and I could have just done that, and I think that's something that I felt like been done better was just like in those moments like being a little bit more straightforward with that, I think.
Congrats on making it this far. You're all doing awesome. It's been very entertaining to watch. What do you think was something else that either something specific that somebody did or just something in general that impacted your game the most? Like, was it luck? Was it connections that other people made? Was it your intentionality or other people's intentionality that helped you get here?
For me, I think it was being with Memphis. Like, I think he's such a strong player and like so well respected. And I think he had a target on his back, but multiple times, like, it wasn't quite ready for you to be gone. And I think you like trusting me so much was probably like the biggest thing that impacted my game because it was able to get me so far. And I think like we played a really good alliance that was, I don't really know if it was like that well discovered. Like, I think it was kind of like a little bit under the rug of how closely we were playing together. And I think you trusting me, but also like initiating our alliance was probably the biggest thing that impacted my game and got me where I was like out of my control.
I think a major moment for me was the catchphrase challenge. I think in those series of challenges, I was able to demonstrate that I was very good at puzzles and very good at the challenges, and that really showed in that specific challenge. And it resulted in my team giving me immunity in that elimination. I was able to really stay connected to everyone on my team, and I know the saying is a friend to all is a friend to no one, but I'm still here. And so being able to be connected with everyone and hear their votes or hear their thoughts and rally them together was crucial, and that moment demonstrated that I had that ability. That is when I learned that I could utilize that.
I think something out of my control was obviously the unanimous against me, but I feel like how that changed and helped me truly is before that happened, I was planning on playing a fully loyal game to the people that I was working with post merge. I think that gameplay would have been a bigger target for me rather than going in as a free agent, because then I was able to get in with people that I was never going to work with before, and that's what got me to the end.
Firstly, congratulations, everybody. I just want to know your highlight and your low light of the game.
I think my highlight of the game, I think when people realized that I was actually becoming a real player, how I claim when I gained consciousness, was flipping on Memphis. Like, I think that was just a really, really strong move, and I got him out. And other people had attempted it, like Eric had attempted it, and it resulted in him getting booted out. So I think being able to take out a strong player, as hard as it was for me to flip my number one, I knew it was going to have to happen before the game even began. And that was probably my highlight of the game. I think it demonstrated to people that I'm actually a real player and that I actually did want to compete and make a big move, and was able to like convince other people. And also like leaving Tony out of that was a very strategic move for me, which was also hard because I also was working with Tony. So I think leaving him out of that vote was very smart, because then it put me in a place for moving forward. Tony was one of the next ones to go because we already had numbers on him because he was left out of the vote. So that was my highlight, because it was very strategic in terms of the numbers that we pulled in addition. Like the blind side, yes, but the people who were voting specifically at the numbers that were included. I think Werewolf was my low, because I genuinely was confused in that moment. I know like that game, I know how it works, and I love Traitors, it's my favorite show. But I genuinely did struggle in that game because of the way that the three of us were sitting. It was just very, very, very hard to look at each other and to communicate. And that was just very flustering for me. And I think I performed badly. And I think that I should have gotten Eric out when he was the seeker, because then he obviously called me out. And I think I just played poorly overall in that challenge. And that resulted in the three of us being at the bottom.
I think a low for me was probably, the first 3 rounds of the game when, we lost like every challenge as Pink Tribe, and Chauncey flipped on our original alliance. So it was kind of like a reset, and we were losing, so we were all going home. It was rough. I think a highlight for me is, I don't want to take any credit away from Courtney getting out Memphis. I think it's very important to remember that that was a 3-3 vote. Mm-hmm. I was on Memphis' side, and I decided to pull that trigger and be the fourth and got Memphis out. So, yes, it was her idea, but without me, it wouldn't happen. She ate with that, but let's not forget who pulled the trigger.
I think that my highest moment and my lowest moment can almost go together. There was a definite shift in the game for me when people started saying that I was a threat. As someone who's new to this game, I don't think I saw myself as a threat. I thought I was just playing the game, going along with the flow, and it was definitely a learning process to see that, oh, this is like threatening behavior. And so it was definitely a low moment when someone was like, you're a threat, and someone who I considered an ally was hearing that, and people were using that as an argument for her not to take me to the end. But ultimately, my loyalty was a greater factor to Courtney than my experience and competition in the gameplay. And so it was one of those moments where it was like, oh, full circle, or not full circle, but epiphany, I need to start fighting harder. But it was tricky. It was both.
Okay, once again, congrats. I do want to ask Anna, you said in one of your interviews when you were voting that you didn't want to vote for a specific person. I don't even remember who, but you had to keep yourself safe because you didn't think you would have the votes if you flipped. I want to know what's changed from then to now, and do you think that you could have the jury votes to save yourself?
It was one of those moments where I actually specifically remember that moment, and just to like lay all the facts bare, it was when we merged as tribes. So Green Tribe did have I'm thinking. I think it was 5-5, if I'm remembering correctly. And so if we stuck together, it would be a tie. And I was committed to the people coming with me from the newly formed Green Tribe, and other people weren't. Other people were jumping over to the newly formed Pink Tribe, and I knew that if I stuck to my original tribe, I would be picked off one by one by one. Because within that newly formed Pink Tribe, there was a clear 4 alliance that had Cody with them. Like, they were a unified force. And so I knew that if I made myself a stark opposition, a star competitor, it would be one by one by one. So I knew I needed to start showing loyalty to them so that I could come into conversations and start fracturing that group a little bit.